Today, I'm in Cristiano Ronaldo's hometown, and we're going to be tasting his favorite food. Ronaldo's humble beginnings started here on the island of Madeira, a Portuguese island closer to Africa than it is to continental Europe. Madeira goes by many names: the Pearl of the Atlantic, Europe's Hawaii, or simply Ronaldo Island.
It is Ronaldo!
Locals on the island are extremely proud to call the GOAT one of their own, and they make it very clear from the moment you touch down at the Madeira airport. Welcome to Cristiano Ronaldo International Airport, Madeira. Madeira's Ronaldo runway is infamously difficult to land at, seemingly appearing out of nowhere, and some say it's one of Europe's most dangerous landings. It's time to eat Ronaldo's favorite food. But first, I'm going to grab a new kit.
For Benzema, able to hold off his man, it's going to fall back to the feet of Ronaldo!
Alright, well, kitted up, Al Nasser, my Ronaldo jersey, CR7, time to go eat Ronaldo's favorite food.
Saita before he hits the target. Let's see. Didn't this time! Magnificent!
First and foremost, I came to Madeira to eat. So I'm on a mission to taste what the greatest football player of all time likes to eat. So you might be saying to yourself, Luke, how do you know what Ronaldo's favorite food is anyway? Well, see for yourself.
What is your favorite food?
I don't have favorite, but I will mention one. Bacalhau à Brás. People should Google it.
And Google it I did. Turns out, bacalhau à Brás is not necessarily a Madeiran dish, but instead a specialty hailing from the capital of Portugal, Lisbon, and more specifically from the neighborhood of Barrio Alto, a salted cod dish using eggs and potatoes. Today, I tracked down a beautiful restaurant on the coast of Madeira that prepares a one-of-a-kind bacalhau à Brás, Ronaldo's so-called favorite dish.
Hi guys, we are here today with Luke to make a bacalhau à Brás, a very traditional dish. I'm gonna twist it a little bit and make it with smoked cod. This cod has been smoked for 1 hour, and now I'm just gonna cook it for 10 minutes and it's done. What I do, I smoke it, and then I sous vide it with the garlic and some olive oil. All the flavors is there, it's perfect. We're gonna start doing the chopping. Chop some onions, garlic, some good olive oil in with the onions. Okay, usually we use only eggs beaten in the end. What I do, I just add a little bit of cream. That helps for the egg not to scramble too much. And some black pepper, always good, really good. Back to the onions. As you can see, it's starting to get some color. That's exactly what we need. And start with the cod. You can see already, this is basically the blood of the cod. When it turns white, means it's cooked.
Beautiful.
Okay, now all we need to have to shred it a bit. Okay, so the cod is here, okay, and into the pot. Garlic that was with the cod. We're going to add it as well because there's a lot of flavor there. I usually buy the potato because they are air dried and they absorb a lot more flavor. Roughly the same amount of potatoes and cod. In Portugal we use a lot of parsley. Now the egg. I always switch off the cod because the heat in the pot is enough to cook the egg now. again, to make it a bit more interesting, truffle oil. Taste. Guys, and this is bacalhau brush, bacalhau style. Please do enjoy.
So here you have it, guys, bacalhau à brás, aka Ronaldo's favorite dish. This just looks so incredible. Hugo, the chef, just prepared it. It's like a mixture of the sort of matchstick potato, fried potatoes, and then it's all sort of bound together with the eggs, and then that smoked cod is their sort of specialty here. So we'll find out for ourselves if Ronaldo has good taste or not. I mean, it smells so good. This is gonna be hard to not be delicious. Just look at it. Yum. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. I can taste the sweet onions right away and the smokiness from that cod. It's kind of still runny. It's not really cooked down. The eggs aren't scrambled. He took it off the heat as soon as he put the eggs in so it doesn't overcook the eggs. So it's still kind of creamy and you can see the consistency is just incredible. Big chunks of cod in there. I love that salt, that smoked cod is just so good. The smell coming off this guy is just incredible. Okay. I've got to give it up to you, Cristiano Ronaldo. You've got good taste.
I have good appetite.
This restaurant is just so beautiful, and then the food is just as beautiful and delicious. And this is just one of many dishes that they serve here, but the one that we wanted to come and try. We're gonna try a few more once we polish off the rest of this bacalhau à brás. I could eat this whole thing by myself, but there's like 5 or 6 more people here that want to have a taste too, so hey, stay back, stay back. No. So like Chef said, very simple cooking here in Portugal. It's all about the quality of the ingredients. So there's just some olives in there as well, tons of olive oil, and he actually sprinkled a little bit of truffle oil on there as well. It's not overpowering, just get a little hint of it at the end. Let's try it with an olive. Damn. That is like seriously good. So this restaurant is called G.O.A.T, which is actually the name of this stone that you can find just on the beach here. We're right on the coast. So they actually serve their garlic butter right on top of the G.O.A.T. Really cool. Fresh bread, yum. Very good, very cool presentation, I love that. So cool. Hugo just brought me out another bowl for myself to have. Just kidding, but look at this massive bowl. We needed seconds. There's enough of us here to polish this all up. It's just incredible. The smokiness of that cod just makes such a big difference, I think, in this dish. No, I think that's turkey.
Well, okay.
Oh my God.
This is for you, yes?
Wow.
Okay.
What do we have here?
Oxtail.
Oxtail, oh
Yes.
my God.
Beef brisket. Pork shank. This is for you to share.
No.
Okay? Okay?
So they specialize in smoked meats here, and this is their oxtail, and then it's smoked and then braised 18 hours. Look at that. Okay, so here is the oxtail. Look at this. Super tender. It's just falling apart on my plate. Beautiful. 18 hours braised. Oh my God. Yep. You don't need teeth to eat that. That is extremely tender. Melts in your mouth, it's like an understatement. And then super smoky too. That's really, really good. Gotta try the oxtail with some of this mashed potato, super creamy mashed potato. Yeah. That's so good. So they specialize in the smoked meats here at G.O.A.T, and I can see why. It's just so good. Sous vide and smoked. So now it's dessert time. We've got the creme brulee, yeah?
Passion fruit creme brulee.
Oh, incredible. So lots of passion fruit here in Madeira.
Yes.
Look at that. Sizzling right up. Beautiful. Listen to that. Beautiful. Crisp on top. Passion fruit creme brulee. Oh, beautiful. Oh my God. I always love the dessert. Oh, the like nice little kind of like glass-like layer on the top. And then you get a little bit of sourness from the passion fruit in there. Oh, that is just perfect too. Yep, I think you can't go wrong with anything here on the menu. Who would have thought that this creme brulee goes perfectly with passion fruit? You can see the passion fruit seeds there at the bottom. If I can flip this around, you can see there. It's got a nice tropical fruity sourness. So we've got another dessert, very traditional dessert. It's like a tart made with almonds, and then it's served with a sorbet of watercress and
passion fruit.
Passion fruit as well.
And lemon.
And lemon. And there's also some pumpkin in the tart here as well. Yeah. Egg.
It's called Tocinho do Céu.
Okay.
So if you translate that,
Bacon from heaven.
bacon from Tocinho is like bacon. Yeah, bacon from heaven.
Bacon from heaven.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like bacon, but it's very good. It's like a little sour, sweet. The tart's really heavy, but then it's really balanced with this sorbet. Oh my god, that's good too.
It's nice, eh? So I'm gonna take some now.
Yeah, please. Before I eat it all. So this is the real Madeira wine.
That's right.
15 years age. Oh wow. It's got fruitiness actually. It's not as strong as I thought. That stuff's good. I can tell. That's the good stuff.
No,
Will I be shot for saying it's like a port wine?
Yes.
Yeah.
By me. I'll be the one who's like, I'll be responsible. But yes, technically you're correct in saying that it's a dessert wine, it's a fortified wine. So definitely something that goes good with something sweet.
Yeah, but it's very smooth. Yeah, it goes down easy.
Vegan!
Guys, that was such a good meal. The chef and the owner here at Restaurante Calao São Jorge are just extremely friendly. Everybody in Madeira has been extremely friendly, so you gotta check this place out. You can hopefully ask for the bacalhau à brás, tell them I sent you. It's actually not on their menu, but you gotta try out all the smoked meats as well. So next, we are actually heading to Ronaldo's old hood, his stomping grounds, to see where he first started playing football and learn a little bit about the history of Ronaldo. So let's head there now.
Right, so we're in the stadium of Nacional. It's called Nacional in Funchal. There's two big teams. There has been three before, but there's two big teams. One is called Marítimo, the other one is called Nacional. Nacional is up here, and this is where Ronaldo played for a couple of years before he left Madeira to go to Sporting in Lisbon. He started playing in a small club called Andorinha, where his father actually worked. I believe he was a somebody who was charging the kit. So his father was a big part of actually bringing him up into the football scene. So behind us is actually the academy for the youngsters, and it was inaugurated with Cristiano Ronaldo's name in 2007. So this is kind of, you know, some Cristiano Ronaldo memorabilia for you guys. This is pretty well known, but after this, we're going to head to a place called Quinta Falcão in Santo Antonio, which is his birthplace, which is kind of almost on the opposite end of the city. We probably would have taken the bus here because they were very poor. He grew up in poverty.
So we've come now to Ronaldo's hood here in Funchal. There's this kind of soccer pitch that they've redone with Nike CR7. It's all redone, painted, looks really cool. And I'll let Jeff tell you a little bit more about Ronaldo and where we are.
Nike actually paid to get this done. If I remember correctly, it was a while since I've spoken about this, but I believe Nike paid for this renovation of this little court in what we call Quinta Falcão, which is in Santo Antonio. Cristiano Ronaldo's house was somewhere around here. It doesn't exist anymore where he used to live. He used to live on welfare. So of course he was very poor and a very poor family, and this is known as a bit of a poorish neighborhood. But this court is kind of to symbolize, this was to celebrate his 110 goals for Portugal. So on the actual goal posts, There's a kind of like a little design, a little story about some of his greatest goals and most influential goals. So it kind of tells the story of his 110 goals. One of the best things that I love about Ronaldo is, you know, the fact that he was a workhorse, and he is a workhorse. He works for what he's got. When you see other footballers that are kind of born with talent, the story of Ronaldo is a little bit more than just that. It's not just his talent, it's also the work that he put in. Apparently when he was younger, he wasn't the greatest of footballers. Apparently there were footballers that were growing up around him that were better than him. But, you know, his work ethic and his will is kind of what got him to where he is today. And even at all of the clubs that he played at and still plays at, first one to arrive, last one to leave.
So this is literally where he would basically practice, kick the ball against the wall, play with some of his friends.
Apparently he was just like stuck with the ball. Like you couldn't separate him and the ball. Apparently he got like kicked out of school because he just never left his ball and all sorts of things.
So I think it's safe to say he's probably the most famous person to ever come out of Madeira.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And he still comes here. He has a home here.
Yeah, so last year, New Year's, so 2023 to 2024, he made a massive party at the Savoy Palace down in Funchal. Fun fact that he was named after Ronald Reagan.
Huge thank you, Jeff, for showing me around. If you guys want to book your tour, it doesn't have to be about Ronaldo. It can be about anything here in Madeira, but hit the road, Madeira. We'll put all the information down in the description box. And this is definitely like a pilgrimage site. If you are a huge Ronaldo fan, you got to come here and see this for yourself. Really cool.
100%.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
It's been a really cool day, kind of retracing the steps of the greatest footballer of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, and to learn about his really humble upbringing. And I think Jeff said it right when he said, the man just works like crazy. He's a workhorse. He works so hard. He's inspired tons and tons of footballers, little kids around the world, and here in Madeira, of course. And yeah, I think he's got a really great taste in food too, because that bacalhau à brás was delicious. Unfortunately, we don't have a ball, but I have to do this. I haven't done it yet in this episode. Oh, there's this football on top of the building over there.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros.